Jak się wiesz? My name is Alex. We are going to be doing a review, video discussion of Red Matter, which is a game that was released on the 24th of May on Oculus. This is an Oculus exclusive, 2018, I should say, this last year. It was an Oculus exclusive for a little bit, then it came out on Steam, 10th of November 2018, and then a month later, it actually came to PSVR. So it's available on all major platforms. It's available for £20 or $25 on PC, and it's a little bit more expensive on PSVR, which is £25 or $29.99. Developer is Vertical Robot. So as always, I'll pass it over to you, Wes. And what is this game? Tell me what sort of game is Red Matter?
This is a puzzle adventure. Quite put, it's story driven. Places you on one of Saturn's moons as an intelligence officer. Uh, you've been tasked with finding information in this abandoned mining facility on behalf of your government. And as you progress through the game, a very interesting story unfolds, and there are many puzzles that you have to solve as you go along.
Yeah, it's a puzzle game. It's like an adventure story-driven puzzle game at heart, basically. But it's a very, very good one in my opinion. It's we'll start with the graphics, which are very, very, very nice,
Hmm.
very
Very
beautiful to look
nice.
at, and it's got like a yeah, you feel like you're in like a Russian themed sort of spy base on a moon somewhere or something. It's got a very cool feel to it. And you, as you progress through, you go into this space station, and a mystery unfolds. But let's talk about the puzzles. Because Roots, I'll pass this to you first, because I know you're probably a bit fatigued with puzzles. But how did you find the puzzles in this game?
I like the puzzles in this game. They were unique. I mean, they didn't always make sense as far as like why would you be doing this in the real world? Like this is a very bizarre dial to turn in this way or that. But I felt like the puzzles were very unique for this game. And I like.
Yeah, they're very. Oh,
Oh
sorry,
no, I
go
was
on.
just gonna say I really like that. This isn't puzzle related, but just the way you had to scan everything, like everything's in a different language, so you're literally looking around and you don't know what the hell where you're at. So it just makes you really kind of explore. I'm not the best about exploring. I know Wes probably would already be looking at everything anyway, but the fact that I didn't know, it'd be like if I was in a different country. I want to know what that sign says, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, it was very clever the way they did that actually, because obviously you can't understand. It's all in a different language, which they called. I think they called it Volgravian or something. They didn't say it was Russian directly, but it's basically Russian. And to read things, you have to use a scanner, and then you've got a little screen which tells you what they're saying. And I know we're skipping around a little bit, but I'll just quickly mention how you actually control things in this, because it was really clever the way they did it. Basically, you're kind of like in a spacesuit, and rather than you having hands and having to pick things up with your hands, you are effectively holding your touch controllers or your Vive ones or your move controllers. So you've got the exact location of your hands in real world. It looks like you in the game you're holding a move controller, or it looks like you're holding a touch controller, and then as you press the buttons, certain utensils pop out of these controllers, so you can get a claw, you can get a flashlight, you can get your little translator. And that's really, really impressed me in the way it felt in the hand presence, in the way that you interact with objects, with the way that you can grab things with the claws and move them around. Things felt really weighty, and it felt like you were probably like in more than any other game. It felt like you were actually moving the item, and it felt like you had actually had that hand presence in the game. Wes, did you like this feature? The way that it's quite unique to this game. We've not seen anything like this before.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this game. I have not finished it yet, but I'm really having a good time in it. I'm very impressed not only with the way they've set up the the controls, but just like Roots just said, I really enjoy exploring and reading everything anyway. And the way they've set this up so that you have to translate things, it really makes it so that you have to do that. So I'm kind of in my element with this game as it is, and the puzzles are are really intuitive, uh, in my opinion. Uh, they give you clues on how to work them, but I feel like I could probably figure it out on my own, even if they didn't. And yeah, the movement is really cool. You're in the spacesuit. You can glide with the free locomotion, or you can teleport. But it's not like a standard teleport where you blink around. But it's like you're kind of just floating around from point to point in your spacesuit. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the gameplay and the controls, and pretty much everything about this game. I'm really impressed with.
Yeah, the teleport's really cool actually. And I actually used that. If I was just looking around a small area, I'd use the free locomotion. But if I wanted to get from one side to the other, because the free locomotion is a little bit slow, I would use that teleport, and you can actually use your thumbstick to speed it up, so you can decide where you want to go, and then you kind of like do a space jump over to that area, and you can speed it up so you can go faster. And it's a good combination actually. It works really well. Yeah, so we'll just finish up on the graphics because I know we jumped about a bit back to gameplay. But one thing that is really good about this is just the crispness. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it's very sharp. There's no real jaggies. It looks really crisp and clear, and everything just looks really good. Production values are really good. The quality of the assets, everything looks top notch. It feels like a AAA game. And it's worth saying that this developer have got actual history in AAA flat games as well. They made a game called Spec Ops, which I used to play, and that was really good. So hats off to the developer. Very good quality, graphically,
Lighting.
very high production values, and the puzzles have got that nice balance as well. I found that they've got that nice balance between making you think and not being too difficult, but also they're all interactive. They use the virtual reality to a good way. They use the motion controls to a good way. Everything's like turning dials and pressing switches and picking things up and putting things together. So yeah, it's one of the best puzzle games. Definitely in my top 10, maybe top 5, in terms of just the balance of getting everything really perfected. And I have finished it. And Roots, did you finish this one? Yes. How long did it take you to finish it?
It's been a while, at least 2 or 3 hours. I didn't rush through it, but I will add that I'm like you with. I mean, I probably used the free locomotion 2% of the time because I felt like the way that you teleport felt more immersive. It felt like that was the way you're supposed to be moving in this big suit. It just felt right, and it's one of the only games that I would prefer a teleport style over locomotion, free locomotion. Any other game, I can't stand it. So
Yeah, it took me about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So I think that's probably the main criticism is probably that play time's a little bit on the short side. So obviously be aware of that. We'll talk about a bit about the story without spoiling it. So Roots, what did you think of the story? Did you like the mystery of it? Did it pull you through the game?
I liked the story for the most part till the end. Not that it was okay. I feel like if there was one weak spot in this game, it's the story overall. Like if you could say we're going to do this game and redo the entire story as far as the backstory, or at least tweak it, I'd say good idea, do it. Which should never happen. But it's not that it was bad; it just was weird.
Yeah, the ending. We won't spoil it, but the ending was weird. It didn't really fit in with the rest. I was intrigued by it, but
until it ended.
At the end, the ending kind of like, okay, that wasn't how I expected it to end. But let's talk about the sound a little bit. There is some voice acting work. You've got a guy who's talking to you, kind of giving you little instructions and radioing in obviously you've also got the sounds, obviously when you're in an environment. But how did you think? What did you think to the voice acting? Do you think it's good? Do you think bad? Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Normally, I would say that it was as good as the graphics, but the graphics were so great in this game that even though the sounds and voice acting were very good, that I haven't experienced many games that's look as nice as this one does. But yeah, the voice acting was sufficient. It was good enough to engage me in the story, which is intriguing to me at the point that I'm at right now. Very intrigued by the story. It just took uh, a, a, a different turn, I'll say, and I don't know how it ends. So, uh,
Yeah,
so I'll
it's
look
not a
for.
horror game, but it's got kind of a creepy atmosphere, I'd say, to it. So
Right.
it makes you feel there's definitely some sort of supernatural stuff going on. You're not really sure what's happening. It doesn't feel a lot of things are going on which aren't normal. So
Right.
you're not sure what's going to happen. And obviously we won't spoil it for you with the
Right.
ending. But there is the voice acting is good to a point where towards the end there's a section where it gets really bad, I found. But
Oh, really?
yeah, just some of it just right towards the end of the game. You'll know what I'm talking about when it happens, but yeah, it was like an overacting sort of uh,
Uh,
B movie type voice acting. But other than that, yeah, the voice acting was okay. The sound effects are all good. The production value is good. The graphics are all good. Overall, this is a top quality game, and it's definitely a game that you should pick up at some point. Whether you think it's worth the asking price for that 3 hour, 3.5 hours, that's a personal preference. But either way, I definitely recommend it, and I definitely think that um, if you have any interest in sort of story-driven adventure puzzle games, this is going to be right up your street. Bruce,
agree.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I'd buy this again in a heartbeat. Just from the atmosphere, like you said, the graphics, it does have a creepy vibe, and it's very unique and very satisfying. Pretty much everything you do, whether it's scanning stuff or pulling out your claws to grab something and grab it and pull it, and it just I feel like they nailed this game. And if it had a gun and I could shoot some monsters, that'd be even better. Maybe Red Matter 2, but or Downward Spiral, which is very similar, but graphically not as good as this. So
Yeah, I hope this game sold well. I don't know how well it sold. I think it, yeah, I think it did quite well on PSVR. So, because I really want these developers to make more VR stuff because these are the top high-end developers that we need in VR. And these are the ones that deserve the money now at this early stage so that they can keep reinvesting back into VR and make better and better games. So, Wes, I'll let you give it your final thoughts. I know you haven't finished it yet, but so based on what you've played, I know are you gonna definitely gonna go back in and finish this, do you think?
Oh, 100%. I'm really enjoying this game. The gameplay is fun. The production values are outstanding, and the story is intriguing. And like you said, it has a bit of a dark turn that it takes. That stuff's right down my alley. So this is my type of game. It's a story-driven game that's kind of set up like an unfolding mystery. There's a little bit of brain challenge to it with the puzzles, and really top-notch production value. And yeah, 100%. I'm going to finish it, and I do recommend it.
Cool. Okay, we'll leave it there. So it's a definite recommend from all three of us. We're not going to talk about price. The price is £20 or $25 on PC. It might even be on sale right now because of the summer sale. Or obviously $30 or 25 pounds or $30 on PSVR. Whether you think it's worth that is up to you. You're talking about 3.5 hours, so I'll let you decide whether you want to pick it up at that price or maybe wait for a sale. But either way, you definitely need to add it to your wish list and pick it up at some point in the future.
yeah.
And that'll do it for this review. I hope you found this interesting. If you're new to the channel, we do these reviews three a week. They're kind of an open discussion back and forth rather than a more rigid single person talking about a game. We also do a weekly games cast, where we talk about the weekly news, what's coming up, what's happened during the week. And we also do a topical news discussion where we pick a topic and we talk about several games that fit into that theme. So if you're new and you like what you see, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit like. If you didn't like it, hit dislike, no problem. And keep an eye out for more videos in the future.
Yeah, I'd like to say something here. Or let me just ask, are we going to do our first video premiere this Sunday?
Oh, that's right.
That's a good point. We potentially, yeah. If you've listened all the way to the end, you're probably one of our hardcore fans. What up, bro? So Roots had an idea where we actually we may be looking at running a premiere. So it won't be a live stream, but it'll be a premiere of the show pre-recorded. So you'll have the opportunity to go in there as it uploads and talk with each other in a live chat sort of theme. And hopefully at least one of us can be in there. So if you're interested in that, let us know. But yeah, that's something we're looking at. We can't promise anything yet, but we're looking at potentially doing that for the first time this weekend. And I believe, Roots, did you say you wanted to do it? Because obviously we're sad to see VR Roundtable go. So we were potentially looking at filling that void and popping it in that same sort of time slot.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea. My thing is like I just love chat. I mean, anybody that knows me, I love chatting with people in live chat. So I think it'd be cool, even if for selfish reasons, so that I can chat with you guys while you're watching it. I think it would be fun. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so if you like that idea, let us know in the comments below, and we will definitely look at doing that. And hopefully, we'll be able to catch one of you guys, speak to you guys live as the video's playing.
Yep, perfect, cool.
Okay, speak to you guys later.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.